What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Been putting it off because I just, it's just going to be awful to engage with. But the LSU season was on the line. I hyped it up all last week. That the Saints season was on the line as well. And so to come out of a bye, division on the line, significant division lead up for grabs against the other team that's going to be competing with you for it, a team that's not very good, to come out and do what you did yesterday and continue to look bad if you're the New Orleans Saints in the exact same ways that you have looked bad all season long is maddening, infuriating, and it just it feels. I know there's a lot of football left to play, but change has to happen. This is one of those moments where I don't care if you make the playoffs. I don't even care if you win the division. I'm talking even head coaching change because of how inexplicably poor yesterday's performance was and the context in which that performance exists. Nick Underhill's title on the main page, right? And I don't know, he doesn't do the titles anymore, but it says like seat getting hot. It should read seat embroiled in flames directly from the bowels of hell, turning the head coach into a piece of ash and cinder, only rivaled by those poor citizens of Pompeii or Vesuvius back when the volcano erupted, because I'm done. I'm done with the Saints. I'm done with the Saints staff, dude. And I know even somebody like Mickey Loomis is untouchable, but when you look at how, he is the one who constructed this team, who made these decisions, and it's just so flawed in so many levels of its construction, it's just everybody needs to be under intense scrutiny right now.
Yes, absolutely. Like when you look at yesterday's game, it's just yet again you leave scratching your head wondering how and why, and there's just so many questions. And again, you're in this awful division, and so you still have life, but they can't allow that to make the decisions for them moving forward. You have to look at the roster, you have to look at the money you've spent, you have to look at the guys that you've drafted, and you have to say we are underachieving. There's no other way that you can look at this team and say anything other than that. And that's the nicest way to put it. The money you've spent on some of these free agents that hasn't worked out. There has to be a complete, just under a microscope look at everybody.
Yes.
From the Saints, from the very top to the very bottom, because there's too much on this roster. There's too many things that they should be doing that they're not, for everybody just to be okay with it.
Yeah, it's and you're starting to see it crop up in the post-game answers as well. Alvin Kamara, here's what he had to say after the game. Quote, "The players, I feel like we're good. I'm playing for them dudes. When you lose the locker room, I feel like there's some miscommunications or misunderstandings between players. There's none of that going on. There's no loss of locker room in that aspect as far as players go." That man is telling you, F these coaches, straight up. Right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, no.
I don't want to be painted as misrepresenting the subtext there. So understand that this is my interpretation of that quote. But when you lose the locker room, I feel like there are some miscommunications or misunderstandings between players. There's none of that going on. There's no loss of locker room in that aspect as far as players go.
Yep.
To finish a sentence with "there's no loss of locker room as far as players go." Come on. What are they telling us? And then you got Dennis Allen up here blaming penalties for the red zone struggles. And I know it screwed up a couple of the drives, but you got inside the Atlanta 35 8 times. 8 times. 15 points. Field goals only.
And your quarterback has a little bit of a history struggling in that area.
Derek Carr's ass as well, unfortunately. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah. Chris
I'm not
Olave was
saying
tight
like
yesterday.
he
so he
was.
got hurt.
Well, okay, but doesn't that suck worse though? Alvin Kamara goes over 100 total yards, averages 5 yards a carry. Chris Olave goes over 100 yards. Tyrann Mathieu comes up with 2 picks.
Yeah.
And you lose by 9, by 2 possessions
To Desmond Ridder.
You knew you were in trouble when the only thing that's worked in the red zone all year long has been Taysom Hill, and so when he fumbled, you're like, all right, yeah, that's it. And then here's your depressing stat to send us to break. This comes from Josh Duba of the AP. Jake sent this to the group yesterday. The Saints have scored 3 touchdowns on their last 32 possessions. The touchdowns came on 2 touchdown passes from Jameis Winston when Derek Carr was hurt, and 1 touchdown pass from Taysom Hill with Derek Carr on the sideline. And so don't get me wrong. I don't think Pete Carmichael's doing Derek Carr any favors, but I can no longer defend Derek Carr in any way either. Not after that stat. 3 touchdowns. This is the type of stat that we make fun of the Jets for.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns in 32 possessions, and it came on Jameis. You have a $40 million quarterback? And the touchdown passes came on Jameis Winston, your backup, and
your tight end.
Your Swiss Army knife tight end. That's I know I overuse phrases, but that is an abject disaster. And it just makes you want to pull your hair out, weeping and gnashing of teeth and all that, dude.
Yeah. Taysom was good receiver yesterday.
Yeah, like Carr get you to the 35 and then put in Jameis. That's what Brett says. Yeah, why not? At least he has the balls to take a shot in the end zone, not just like throw little weak-ass fades. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the 2 guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.